They say public inquiries aren't about laying blame, but on Monday, the testimony at the Emergencies Act inquiry was all about laying blame. Was it the city administration in Ottawa that was to blame? The Ottawa police? The federal government or the province? Steve Lacos, Ottawa's city manager and top municipal bureaucrat, spent 3.5 hours testifying. He made it clear that he saw failures in intelligence gathering and protest planning by Ottawa Police Service as the biggest issues. Lacos said the city was relying on the police to give them the full picture of what to expect. When convoys driving to Ottawa from all parts of the country arrived on January 29, despite other evidence being presented to the city that contradicted what the police were telling them, Lacos said the city had to rely on reports from the police department. We don't have the complete intelligence package that they do, Lacos said. What the crack intelligence unit at the Ottawa Police told City Hall was that just a few thousand protesters would make their way to the capital. And most would leave after the weekend or the Wednesday after at the latest. To call that assessment a failure of intelligence would have been an understatement. The local hotel association had informed the city and police of people booking rooms for 30 days. And of one call about booking rooms for thousands of people for 90 days. The media reports at the time, in newspapers, radio and TV, were full of stories describing what convoy organizers were saying. They were headed to Ottawa to stay until they got everything they wanted. Ottawa police didn't buy that, and neither sadly did Lacos, who should have known better. The claims that no one knew simply don't wash. Ottawa Councillor Riley Brockington warned in an email to top city officials that the numbers presented by the police were well below what could be expected. This is going to last more than a weekend, Brockington wrote on January 26. The OPS today estimated 1,000 to 2,000 to protest. No way. Expect many more. Lacos said in addition to the incorrect intelligence reports, Ottawa police were the ones who decided that roads could not be closed, and that it was better to let the big rigs onto Wellington Street in front of Parliament. While he blamed the police, lawyers for the Ottawa Police Service and former Chief Peter Slowly tried to blame the city for not being prepared and not carrying out their responsibilities properly. In one exchange on why the trucks weren't simply towed away, Lacos said that not only were private towing companies worried of going in to clear the protesters, so, too, were employees who operated the city's two heavy tow trucks. While the inquiry is about the invocation of the Emergencies Act and whether using the Act was appropriate, the early days of testimony have looked at the local impact of the protest and the local reaction by city officials. What we've seen is a city administration caught off guard not only by the size and scope of the protest, but by their own faulty intelligence and bad decision-making. Most of the focus later will be on the actions and decisions of the Trudeau government, especially what led them to invoke the Act. For the next several days, we will be treated to more local theatre. More proof that the city and its police service were inept as Mayor Jim Watson and Councillor Diane Deans, the former head of the Police Services Board, take the stand. While I expect both Watson and Deans to blame everyone but themselves, there is plenty of blame to go around on what happened last winter. Most of it lies with the city and its police service.